Jason, the board chair of the Queens Botanical Garden, and I'd like to welcome you all here. I'd like to welcome all of you, all of whom are supporters of ours in one way or another. I really appreciate the tremendous support that you provide to us, and obviously today we've got some very special supporters who are about to do something quite transformative for us, and we're very appreciative. I'd like to say thank you to all of our supporters, but particularly our guests of honor today. I'd like to thank and welcome our staff, who are truly the lifeblood of this organization. And I'd like to thank and welcome our elected and appointed officials, because people can get very cynical about politics these days, but not in Queens, not in New York, not here at the Garden. We've got an incredible political group of folks who have been so supportive, not just of the Garden, but of all culture in Queens and in New York City. And it's so important. And although I believe that means millions and millions of votes, I'm not sure everybody agrees with me, but these are people who genuinely care about what happens to the city and what's best for the people of the city. So I'd like to welcome Queensborough President Richards. I'd like to welcome the council member Sandra Ung. And the Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs, Lori Trumbo. We're better partners, and we couldn't do it without them, so thank you. And I'd also, of course, like to welcome the Advisory Council of the Board and my fellow board members. This is a very special place. I mean, I came to Flushing in 1971 with my family. Flushing was a much different place. The Garden was a much different place. But both have grown significantly together, but in a complementary way. I think that Flushing is one of the most dynamic and exciting neighborhoods probably in the world, certainly one of the most diverse. And the Garden has become one of the most beautiful and a true oasis for this community and an educational institution that is enjoyed by the entire city. And that's really special. I come here and have come here for most of this century. On a weekly basis. I sit on a bench, I enjoy reading a book, and I enjoy watching other people, families, individuals, all members of the community coming in and using the Garden for a variety of different special purposes, and that's really quite heartwarming to see that. So I'm not going to spill the beans as to exactly why we're here. That's for Evie to do. So without any further ado, let me introduce our great executive director, Evie Hensopoulos.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm so happy that you're all here today to share in the celebration of this announcement. And I get the fun part, because I get to tell you all the details. I have that honor and privilege, the who, the what, the where, the why, although not necessarily in that order. So again, thank you for being here to share this. Our elected officials, our commissioner, our donors, our supporters, our friends, and our staff, who are really, really awesome. Thank you for all being here. So first I'm going to start with the who. So this generous gift is from the Joan N. and Norman Bluestone Foundation, which is based right here in Queens. You're going to hear more about Joan and Norman and the foundation from some of the foundation trustees who are here today. Why this gift? Well, because Joan and Norman believed in education and supporting young people who come from disadvantaged communities. And they believed in this garden and valued all that it had offered them. And now the foundation, together with Queens Botanical Garden, will ensure that this gift provides infinite cultivation of curiosity, community, love for the environment, and so much more for so many people, so many school children, and so many members of this community and for New York City. And so where is it happening? Well, of course, right here at the Queens Botanical Garden. We're going to be breaking ground on a brand new state-of-the-art education building that is fully funded by our city with support from the Borough President's Office, the City Council, the Mayor's Office, and it's being managed by Department of Cultural Affairs. They're also funding it as well. And we're almost there. We're almost there with breaking ground. So when is that going to happen? Hopefully this summer. And once it's completed, approximately 2 years later, it will be named the Joan N. and Norman Bluestone Education Building in honor of this very, very special. Okay, so finally the what. So this is the part where I just get giddy every time I say this. This is a historic gift. It is one of the largest, if not the largest, private gifts to a Queens cultural institution. And it's going to ensure that when we open this building, which I think you might have seen, a slide on here, what the education building is going to look like. It's designed by BKSK Architects. Joan, the architect, is here. Joan, just raise your hand. Where are you? Over there. We love working with Joan. She did this building. She designed our education building, which will soon be realized, and has some other projects going on here as well. But when we do open that building, it's not going to sit empty. We'll be able to fill it with programs, with high-quality staff, with outdoor classrooms and gardens, and a whole bunch of experiences that will really serve so many school children, members of the community for years to come because of this gift. So, I am thrilled to announce this transformative gift of $8 million. Here, people that come visit here, we are deeply indebted to the foundation, to the trustees, to the Bluestone family for this incredible support. I can't tell you, we fell out of our chairs when we, were told that we were going to get this gift because it really is. I'm going to start. It just is. First of all, I just never thought that this would happen. I've never said $8 million, donation. It is truly, as we've said, it's going to be transformative for the garden, and it will allow us just to do so much once that building is open. And even before, we're starting the planning, we're doing the outreach, we're going to pilot programs, pilot activities. But I can't tell you, just as an executive director, that it just lifts this burden so that you don't have to worry just about, we have all this money to raise. Once that building is open, we already have the core support right there so that when it opens, we are ready to go. Those kids are going to be coming through that building and they're just going to be experiencing amazing, amazing things. Thank you to the foundation so much. So I'd like, actually, we have several members here from the foundation and members of the Bluestone family. I'll start off by calling up Sarah Herbstman, who is one of the trustees. Are you the chair of the? Yes. And she also has just joined our board of directors, our board of trustees, so we're thrilled about that. So please welcome Sarah Herbstman.
Borough President Richards, Councilman Commissioner Cumbo, Deputy Commissioner Murray, Executive Director Evie, Olivia, and other garden representatives and guests. So good morning all. I am so pleased to be here. So a little bit more about Joan and Norman Bluestone Foundation. It was formed in 2002, and the purpose, which you've heard, of the foundation is to foster the education of disadvantaged children and young adults in the New York metropolitan area. Queens Botanical Garden, through their many educational programs, exemplifies that mission. Queens was always the home to the foundation originators, Joan and Norman Bluestone. Norman was a founding member of the Bluestone organization, Queens-based family real estate company, along with his two brothers, Harold, my dad, who passed in 2020, and Eli, who I am thrilled to say is here today. So Norman passed in 2011. Joan Bluestone, Norman's wife, was a longtime volunteer and donor at the gardens. And In addition, she served on its board of directors for many years, and she passed in 2020. The garden was always a special place that both Joan and Norman frequented, often to admire the beautiful grounds. They recognized that this quiet oasis, jewel, had incredible potential and is a special asset to the borough of Queens. They often express their desire to contribute to its future in a meaningful way and memorialize their love for the gardens. We are so pleased, all of us, on the foundation and the family, to make this significant donation and having the new education building bear Joan and Norman's names. We could not think of a better way to honor their memory. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And now I'd like to call up Ira Lichtiger, who is also a trustee of the foundation. Please welcome her.
President, Councilmember Owen, Commissioner Cumbo, and Director Antsopoulos, I think I got that right.
Yes.
And the Chairman of the Board who I just met today. Sarah and I and our partner Eric Bluestone are third generation partners in a family real estate business, Bluestone organization, which is a mission-driven and affordable housing, affordable, energy-efficient, and healthy housing in the New York City communities where we mostly build. We've also been Queens-based and Queens-focused developer that has been honored to serve the communities where we develop. Sarah already, I was going to recognize Eli, but Eli was part of the second generation of Norman, Eli, and Harold, who really grew the business. And I actually want to give thanks mostly to Norman and Joan, for their foresight and for their generosity, because they basically, put all of their money into the foundation. And I'm glad that it's being focused in Queens and at the garden. When this opportunity, came up through Norman and Joan to make a meaningful contribution to the Queens Botanical Garden, we began talking to Evie and Olivia and others about the grant. We made it a point to discuss the South Queens communities of Jamaica and the Rockaways, not to disregard Flushing, where we've been developing. We've also developed many buildings in Flushing, but we've been building there for many years. And these are some of the communities that we think the purpose of the foundation really has a fit. So, when we asked Abby to prioritize outreach to these neighborhoods, so that the children of South Queens can benefit from the wonderful educational programs in the garden, we really wanted to thank Abby and the others for being so welcoming to the idea. And the borough president told me this morning that they were already doing that. So we feel like the grant is in great hands, and we're just thankful for the way that you received our request with open arms. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ira. What's wonderful about this gift, it will allow us to be more intentional with engaging communities that might not be familiar with the garden, and we think that that's really, really important, particularly kids who need to be exposed to nature. I mean, we all do, right? But it's really going to provide so many opportunities for those communities for the other school children here in New York City. So again, we're just really, really grateful, and we're happy to do that because it ties in with our strategic thinking on what we need to do as a garden as well. Next up, I am pleased to call up our borough president, Donovan Richards, who, when you think Queens, I mean, he lives Queens. I don't know how he does it, but he's like all over the borough every day. Like, I follow on social media, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's here, he's here, he's here, he's here. He has boundless energy. He has a boundless commitment to Queens. He really believes in the Queens community and doing all he can in that role as borough president to make sure that he always says, Queens gets the money, right? And that's one of his catchphrases. But that we're given our due. Like, we are the most diverse borough. We are the best borough. No offense to anyone from the other boroughs, but there's so much that Queens offers, and so we're really just so thrilled that you've been such a wonderful partner with us here at the Queens Botanical Garden, and we just kind of look forward to continued partnership with you. So please welcome our borough president, Donovan Richards.
Well, what a great morning. I can't think of a better way to start my morning outside of getting my son ready for school than to show up to such a grand announcement where we're actually spending other people's money. It's a great day to be at the Botanical Gardens, right? Sandra could attest to that, right? And Lori could attest to that, right? But this speaks to the importance of really strong partnerships. And I want to start by thanking the Bluestone organization, who I got to know when I had hair. Probably about 7 or 8 years ago, we worked together on one of the first affordable housing projects in the Rockaways. And I would tell you it was really a joy because of really the essence of what they're doing today speaks to what they've done all around this borough. And not simply just building our borough, but building it back better. And the lives that the Bluestone organization has touched. I'm going to tell you, we've met many of those residents who came from homeless shelters, who were low income, who never thought they could live in quality housing. And I really want to thank you for getting Rockaway started, because it really all began with the Bluestone organization. So thank you so much, because today is really a momentous occasion. And I also have to just speak quickly about partnerships, because I go back a long time with our Cultural Affairs President, Commissioner now, Happy President Day as well. Lori Cumbo, we started the City Council together. I guess our sons are about a year apart. Sandra Ong, it's really partnerships that really get us moving this borough forward. And of course, we can't do that without our local organizations like the Queens Botanical Gardens. You know, we often speak of government being the sole solution to all of the issues in society, but government can't resolve all of the issues. We need good partners. And Evie in this garden has really been a strong partner from the days going back to one of my predecessors, Claire Shulman, who I know spoke so highly of this garden. I love Claire. She was someone who said, let's get shovels in the ground. And certainly today, with the courtesy of the Joan and Norman Bluestone Foundation, we're going to be able to do that. You know, with this donation, the garden will be able to create fresh, environmentally centered programming with its coming state-of-the-art education center, which I'm happy to say my office provided $2 million towards. And really, the story writes itself. You walk through this garden, I don't know, I got a jolt of energy. I only got 5 hours of sleep last night. But I got a jolt of energy coming in this morning when I saw senior citizens outside exercising, and you saw the diversity out there and how this open space is really an oasis that provides an opportunity for everyone, free of discrimination. When we see what's going on across the country, what we see going on in Congress, we can negate that here in Queens because we know what's happening here is truly what America is reflective of. Diversity, 190 countries represented here, 350 We have always opened our arms. There are no borders in Queens County. So I think of those asylum seekers who are coming off the bus this morning. They can come to the Queens Botanical Garden and they won't be turned away. So today is really a phenomenal day as we talk about diversity, we talk about education. And this morning, the New York Times cited is an article in the New York Times that speaks of how carbon emissions have really increase across the globe. And this is really the answer to that, teaching our young people about environmental justice, teaching helping our communities who are environmental justice communities be able to be equipped with the tools necessary to address climate change is something that is going to be so critical as we move into the future. So I want to really thank you for this donation. It goes a long, long way, because it's easy to have a building, but as Evie said and alluded to, how do you pay for the program? So really, you can't do one without the other, and today the Bluestone organization is doing it. I want to thank Ira once again, Sarah, Eli, all of the individuals who made this day possible. But most importantly to Norman and Joan, who really had the foresight to build this borough, to support this borough, to live in this borough, to breathe this borough. And guess what? The children of tomorrow will be able to have a better tomorrow because of their contribution. Thank you all. God bless.
We appreciate all that you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next up, I am so happy to call up our city council member, Sandra who is a longtime friend and supporter to the garden. Before she was elected to office, she really, really believed and loved the garden. And as soon as I came on board, it was pretty much the same time that she started in the city council. It's been a year for you and almost a year for me. But right away, she was like, okay, what is it that you need? You know, what is it that you want to do? And, you know, we're here to obviously talk about this wonderful gift, but also there's other things that are going to be happening here in the garden as well. We're going to be building a new pavilion, outdoor pavilion, and with that will be these beautiful new pavilion gardens over by the College Point Boulevard side. So that whole area, through the education building, through the pavilion, we're going to be really activating that whole section, and these beautiful new gardens will be built as well, thanks to you know, Councilmember Ung and the City Council for that support as well. So I'm just very grateful for all that you do for the garden, how you show up for us, and so please come on up and say a few words.
Good morning. I'm City Councilwoman Sandra Ong, and I have the privilege of representing this great district, District 20, but Flushing, close to my heart because I grew up here in this community, and I generally have seen firsthand how the Botanical Garden has transformed over time. And that's really due to the efforts of the board, the staff, and all the volunteers. I mean, this is a place for families, for children, but also for seniors. And actually, I have some of the seniors out there today. Wave your hands. These seniors have always told me how important these gardens are for them. And I'm so happy to partner with QBG. Like you said, we started together. Just took office in 2022. And already I want to thank you for our partnership of having the Rain Barrel giveaway, the e-waste recycle, and all the programming you have here, from the Halloween, for the Christmas to Lunar New Year, which you'll be looking forward to very soon. So again, I want to thank all QBG, Effie, Mr. Jansen, for all your hard work here. And lastly, I think as we all said, the education building was a great collaborative effort to get it fully funded. But what is a building without actually having programming? So I want to really thank the foundation, the Bluestone Foundation, for this really transformative gift. I think as I was just talking to the borough president just before this press conference, it is not easy to have money for programming in any part of New York City. And to have this amazing gift will really transform not only Flushing, but the community at large. And I hope it will bring more people to love the beauty of Flushing, which is what I have always loved about QBG and Flushing. So again, thank you so much. I look forward in 2 years to the ribbon cutting and Joan and Norman education building. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Ung. Yeah, we're crossing our fingers that we do our groundbreaking this summer. It is out of our hands, just so you know, because the city manages that process. But you know, maybe we can put in a few words to kind of move it along. You know, our electeds and government officials. But we are really excited for that to happen. But thank you again for your partnership. As you know, this is not just a botanical garden. This is a place where we celebrate culture, right? We do all kinds of programming that really celebrate the diversity of this community, of New York City, all sorts of different experiences that we provide for the people here in Queens and for, all over the city as well. And so, we're not just a botanical garden. There's a lot of great stuff going on. And the main agency that supports us is the Department of Cultural Affairs. And so we're really, really happy to have the commissioner. When you think of commissioner, you kind of think of like, commissioner, stuffy, whatever. Probably maybe not, I'm stereotyping. But man, we have an amazing commissioner for the Department of Cultural Affairs. She is a tour de force. She is, a champion of culture, of institutions like the Queens Botanical Garden, and we are so thrilled that she is here today. And also, right next to her is Terry Richardson, who's like the person that we're always bugging at DCLA, can you answer this question, answer that? So Terry, I just also want to thank you for all your support over the years that you've given to the garden, and also just being so welcoming to me when I came on board. But with that, I would like to bring up Commissioner Lori Cumbo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. I am so excited to be here. I was, as both our borough president and city council members spoke so eloquently, they really covered it all. I mean, from the housing to the partnerships to our seniors to the educational opportunities to the diversity of the borough. There's really not much left on the table to speak about this fantastic day. But all I can really say on behalf of Mayor Eric Adams is we are so thankful because public and private partnerships are totally what it's about. It's what really gives us the energy to move this great city forward, and it's the only way that we can do it. So we thank you so much for this incredible gift. This is really an opportunity, $8 million. This is really a substantial and meaningful gift. And it's not just the $8 million. It was also the incredible volunteer work that both the family members have done. They have done an extraordinary job at making sure that they invested in this particular garden in such a beautiful way that their legacy will live on forever. And I really just want to say to everyone here, when we think of $8 million, we think of that type of gift as something that someone else does. We don't necessarily always think about it in the ability for each of us to do. And so it's so very possible, and we encourage you to really think about how you can make a gift similar to this. Not have to be at the $8 million level. But whatever you can give, it's important to volunteer your time and your energy in spaces and places that are meaningful to you. Just like our borough president said, when he walked in and saw our seniors doing the Tai Chi and continuing their cultures, I saw them doing Tai Chi and I was so inspired, but more so to watch. I said, eventually I'm going to get to that place where I can wake up early enough to do the Tai Chi, do my meditation, and then wake up and make breakfast and get my 5-year-old ready for school, but it totally hasn't happened yet. But I really want to thank Joan and Norman Bluestone for encouraging and inspiring each and every one of us to think about how we can make a gift while we're here on this planet, but also most importantly when we're gone. How does our legacy live on? How do the spaces and places that we love and we want to see grow and flourish live on? And as I always say, and I try to explain to my son, when we go to be with God, what is it going to be that we're going to leave behind that people are going to be able to remember us by, that other children, the next generation, are going to be able to benefit from? So really think about it. Volunteer your time, volunteer your energy, think about how you can make that gift, and make sure that your legacy and your family lives on forever. And so I also want to acknowledge at this time our Deputy Commissioner, Alton Murray, is also here. And he was so excited about being here. Usually the commissioner and the deputy commissioner are supposed to be in like 2 different parts of the city at all times. But we were so excited about what this transformative gift was going to mean, but also how we hope that it will inspire all of us in this room and beyond to continue to make that great gift to some place that we hold near and dear, and hopefully it is right here. So thank you all so much. Continue to enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you, as it was said, at the ribbon cutting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. I want to acknowledge there are people, obviously we're here to celebrate this huge gift, but there are other people in this room who've also given towards our education building fund, and I want to say thank you to you. You know who you are. We appreciate it, and we celebrate you as well today. So I guess this is really where we're going to kind of wrap up. I do want to acknowledge, of course, just the wonderful staff here at the Queens Botanical Garden, but in particular, our Director of Development, Olivia Cochran, who has really worked on this whole education building fund campaign and has really done phenomenal work. So thank you, Olivia. I want to just make sure that you get your props today, because honestly, she's the one. She's the one who kind of makes it all happen. So thank you, Olivia. Again, I just want to thank the Bluestone organization, the Bluestone Foundation, the Bluestone family. Could we have all the family members stand out? We have Ira, Charles, Sarah, Joyce, just can't express enough how much this means to the garden, to Queens, and to our city. This is truly magnificent, so thank you. I don't know if anyone, members of the press, have any questions, but we are happy to take any questions that you may have. Also concluding this, if you would like to go and see where the new education building is going to be, and just envision in a couple of years down the line, it's going to be filled with incredible programs and activities and gardens and places for everyone to explore. We can also do that as well. Any questions? All right, well, good. Well, we'll be around for a little bit. If anyone wants to chat, but I thank you all for coming. Thank you to our board of directors. Thank you, Raymond, for your leadership. Again, thank you to the Bluestone Foundation. Thank you to our electeds, and just thank all of you for being such wonderful supporters of the garden. Thank you so much.